Hey everybody, it's Faheem, pharmacist, prescriber, contractor, founder of Medlin. In this video, we're going to be talking about a topic that we all at some point in our lives suffer with. And if you haven't, then you're very lucky. Because the big word S-T-R-E-S-S, stress, and it happens in a pharmacy, happens everywhere. So I thought that I'll make a video on this to give you my personal experiences, how I've dealt with it, and what I found useful so we can help you. Now, as always, subscribe, like, and share this channel because together we're going to build a better world and we're going to make a difference. Let's now talk about why we're making this video. The reason is a lot of students have been getting in touch with us. They're looking to the IP course, they're looking to buy or sell a pharmacy, they want advice on their pharmacy futures. Some pharmacists are struggling with finding work, they're not too sure where to go, and so on. So I thought, let's talk about this topic, stress. And what I'd like to do is first talk about the causes of stress, a very generic topic. We'll talk about some solutions, and I will reiterate why we're making this video once more. And then we'll look on how to possibly, you can use some of the things that I did to solve this. And it's not been totally solved. I think it's a very difficult topic to talk about. There is so much information out there. But if you like something that I mentioned here and you can resonate with it and it works with you, absolutely use it. So why am I making this video? First of all, pharmacists get in touch and they say, we can't find a DPP. There's a shortage of doctors. I have a university place. Faheem, help us. We can't find a DPP. It's so stressful. I want to progress my career. Everything is set. I've got HE funding. Help us. So that's one reason that we're finding. And again, for those of you struggling, get in touch with us at Medlin. We can absolutely help you. Number one. We also have pharmacists that are doing the IP course and really, really stressed. And there's an E missing there, by the way. So I'm going to put that E in there. Course. So they're doing the IP course. They're struggling with writing academically. They don't understand what reflections are. They're not too familiar with writing at a standard that the NHS or rather the universities are looking for, so they get stressed. And I know when I did my IP course, absolutely it can be stressful. And I've already done a video on how to prepare for it to help manage or reduce those stress levels if you prepare. So have a look at that video as well. Again, students, get in touch. If you're struggling, get in touch with us. We can absolutely help. Buying and selling a pharmacy. Students don't know how much a pharmacy costs, how to sell a pharmacy. Is it the right price? Is it not the right price? Will I have a future in pharmacy? Again, causes stress. Pharmacy generally, stock issue, income, and we're going to discuss this in depth, again, lead to stress. Locum, not being paid on time. And I've been guilty of that as a pharmacist owner. It becomes difficult, absolutely. It's difficult for staff and locums and so on. So that not only puts stress on the pharmacy owner, but also on the locums. What about working in a pharmacy can be stressful, shortage of staff. So all of this, I've gone through all of these stages, a lot more, a lot worse. And I'd like to discuss these causes and then how I've dealt with them. First of all, you're working in a pharmacy and you're struggling to find stock. This can be extremely stressful because staff become upset, your service levels drop. I've suffered with it where I've had supplies closed for a certain period of time because they didn't have the right stock or whatever reasons. So that starts to become a problem as well. How do you manage the stock? I think the first thing is to manage your cash flow. That would be quite useful. Speak with the suppliers, see if they can assist, and open up other accounts. There's many other accounts that you can open up that could help you. And also be transparent with your patients that there is a stock shortage nationally. It's not just our fault. So that's always helped. Income. Again, whether it's NHS income or your personal income, that is a big, big, big cause of stress. People say money doesn't make you happy. Probably true, apparently. But I'll tell you one thing, money solves problems. So it's important for all of us to be financially strong, have big pockets with cash. You can distribute that wealth. You can help other people. So income is important. Have a think of other income streams. So if you're a pharmacist, owner, and you're looking at income streams, think about opening up a clinic. Think about maximizing the NHS contract. Think about introducing new individuals to your pharmacy, like physiotherapists, podiatrists, and so on. Again, all income streams. Think about digitalization. That can help as well. A website, going online. Have a look at that. If you're a pharmacist and you want to increase your income stream, think about upskilling yourself. Think about the tech world. Think about becoming a pharmacist IP. Think about becoming a DPP, helping other pharmacists. You can think of all the other opportunities that are out there to increase your income streams. Maybe think about property. Again, there's ways that you can deal with that, but planning is important. You know, initially I used to be a big fan of huge planning, where you write documents and write business plans, but the reality is you have control over very little. You can only control so far things. So when you write even a business plan, I'm not in big agreement now writing a 10-page business plan, because you don't have control of everything. You don't have control of your health, for example. You don't have control of the economy. You don't have control of all the other bits and pieces that can influence your decision. So as much as you should plan, but there's only so much planning you can do. But plan as much as you can. So again, that can help. What about staffing levels? It's hard to find staff. I've had a pharmacist get in touch with me who ran the pharmacy himself plus his wife for over 6 months because they couldn't find a dispenser. Imagine those stress levels. Imagine their relationship. Again, planning. Visit Indeed. Go on to Indeed, have a look at that. Get in touch with other fellow pharmacists. Set up a community where you can talk. Again, staffing can be a big problem. Look at your workflows, make the process more easier, because it's not difficult finding people, it's difficult finding trained people and people who believe in your vision, have a similar concept. Again, have a look at that. Economy. I'm not going to go through this in depth. This is not something I can control, but economy, big problem. Your future. Pharmacists, get in touch. You know, there's physician associates, there's nurse prescribers, there's physiotherapists, there's paramedics. Where will I be as a pharmacist? I'm hearing things like remote supervision, where they won't need a pharmacist or premises. Then what happens to us? Again, think about your future. Where do you see yourself? Develop yourself such that people need you, because people buy knowledge and people buy relationships. People believe in relationships. So build up your communication skills, build up your own knowledge base. Very, very important. So that's important. Study, and I've touched on this. Study can be very stressful. Some of us who have done the IP course or doing the IP course now, we haven't studied over 10 years. It's difficult to get back into academic education and referencing and writing at level 7 and all those terminologies. You've got family, you've got kids, you've got a wife, you've got a partner. How do you manage time? Again, we're studying time management. Time. Think about time management. And I was actually discussing with my colleague Farouk about learning how to learn. I'm going to repeat that again. We were discussing about his daughter, and he said, you know what I would like to teach my daughter? Is I'd like to teach her how to learn. You know, it's taken me 36 years to learn. I think I'm 35. I don't know. I think I'm 35. But 36 years to learn how to learn. And it's only when I started medicine, I started to think about, actually, I've got to change the way I learn. So get in touch. How do you actually study? How do you learn? Customers. Again, stressful. Why is this out of stock? Why don't you have this? Why don't you have that? Again, very stressful. Try to remain as calm as you can. I'm guilty of this sometimes in relationships, with family, shouting, screaming. Who can speak the loudest doesn't help. Listen and then rationalize, take a moment's break, and then try to answer the question. And don't take it personally. Don't take it personally. Yes, don't let anybody go beyond the line or below the belt. Listen. You know, recently I had a discussion with my colleague, Tahir, and we were discussing about the running of the pharmacy. And I was guilty of this. He was trying to say something, I wouldn't let him speak. I just refused to listen to him. No, this is not right, blah, blah, blah. Listen. God has given you 2 ears, 1 mouth. And he's got teeth in there as well to stop you, for you to think again. If you listen, believe me, you'll do well. And I'm telling this to myself before I'm saying this to you. I wish I can listen. Farouk is laughing because he's like, yes, if only you listen. So we've discussed some of the causes. Right, solutions. Look, I'm not going to stand here and preach to you on how to solve your stress problems or how to fix your life. I can't do that. I've got my own problems. Everybody has their own problems. But I can share with you my journey, what I've done. Number 1, the first thing was realizing that we've got a problem here. Folks, when you realize that we've got problems, we can then face them, try to tackle them. You need to sometimes look at yourself in the mirror and accept, I've got a problem and I've got to solve this. How do I solve this? Look for solutions. You know, I've spent hours and days just sat in a room and just consistently thinking about the problem and not looking for solutions. And actually, the problem gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and it makes it hard for you to think. I've done that. When it's a problem, and because of the way I've thought about it, okay, I can't pay a local pharmacist. Now what do? He's going to call the GPC. He's going to inform other people. Everybody will start talking about me. Blah, 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 blah. Wait, just talk to that person and say, look, I'm having a cash flow problem. How can we solve this? I'm sorry. If I would have done that, as opposed to sitting and thinking of all the things that could happen, it would have saved me time, energy, and not have this much white hair. But we don't talk about it. I used to spend time just going in circles on a problem and think of everything else that could happen that could go worse. And my head would make this issue into such a big issue that I would become, in a way, paranoid, and also, I couldn't think. I'd become paralyzed because I was so negative. Right, we've got a problem. I can't pay my staff. How do I solve this? Number one, first thing, how much do I have to pay them? Number two, how do I generate the income? Who can I speak with? Friends, family, bank. Number three, speak with the staff. That would have been a better solution than thinking, right, if I don't pay this person on time, this could happen, that could happen, that could happen, that could happen, that could happen. Think of the solution. So realize the problem, write it down on a piece of paper. Yes, sometimes it's worth thinking about worst case scenarios. I think there's a great book. I think it was called something Carnegie. I think it was called How to Deal with Stress and Start Living. I'd recommend you read that book. It's something like How to Deal with Stress, Stop Stressing and Start Living. I'll leave the link in the comments. Definitely, I read that book, changed my life. It was given to me by a good friend of mine. I'd recommend you have a look at that. Perspective. Sometimes think of other people's perspective, how they feel. I've been guilty of this. Me. If you've not been able to pay your staff on time, how do they feel? Look at it from their shoes. Speak with them. That might be an option. Talk. Now, Farouk, it was interesting. Farouk said, look, if we start talking, right, I have an idea. So I've got stress. That's me. I then talk to my wife. And guess what? We've now got two people who got stress. And I actually found that quite funny. It was kind of like a rolling effect. Because I said to him, you need to talk to people. He said, okay, I will. Let me talk to my staff. Faheem, you haven't paid me on time. Let me go speak to my wife. And now guess what? We've got two people who are stressed in the house. So it's an interesting one. But in terms of talking, you do need to talk to people. You can't. I have a problem, and I will, and this is an attempt to do a bottle, is I bottle it up. I bottle it up. I have this problem, is I will bottle it all up inside, and then boof, I burst. I don't think that hasn't worked for me. And that for me, I realize only just drives my anxiety, makes me more stressed, whether it's the IP course or managing students, whatever it might be. I don't think it works for me, so I've stopped doing that. Let it out. Even if that means talking to myself, writing it as a piece of paper, recording a video, whatever it might be. Your health. Folks, have a look at my YouTube videos that I did probably a year ago and have a look now. There's a difference. I was weighing around 95 kg. And now I'm close to probably 82, 83. I like to say I've gained muscle. I like to say I look better. But honestly, my health was not in a good place. I was eating bad food. I wasn't exercising. I wasn't having fluid. This is your vehicle. This is the vehicle that is going to take you on a journey to whatever you want to achieve. Whether it's a billionaire, millionaire, trillionaire, whether it's charity. If you cannot look after this, you are not going to be able to achieve your dreams. Remember that. Health is important. Take small steps. Eat well. Drink water. Exercise. Mental health, wherever it might be. Relax yourself. Okay? So health is very, very important. And then you've got to be brave. Folks, life is not easy. Life is not easy. At some point, we have to be brave. And we have to have broad shoulders, as they say, and you've got to face up to it. That's my advice. And that's some of the things that I've done to realize that it's okay. As long as God's given me health, and I don't do anything silly and end up in jail, I can do it again. If I go bankrupt, I can do it again. If I lose my job, I can do it again. As long as I've got my health, you can absolutely do it again. And I don't need to worry about what people think. So that was my kind of video for you guys, because mental health, stress levels, we all suffer with it. And also, guys and folks, patience. Big P, let's all of us try to be more patient. Let's all of us try to be a bit more patient and be thankful for what we have. And try to understand the other person's perspective and ask that person, how can we solve this? What's your solution? Okay, Faheem, you've not been able to pay me on time. How can we solve this? How can I help you? How much time do you need? You know, people think you must be living a lavish lifestyle. You've got your pharmacy, you're perfect, everything's, it doesn't work like that. Sometimes put your shoes or look at their perspective. How can we solve the problem? Let's be a bit more patient. I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's not something that I like to make all the time, but it's something that I thought would be useful and my giving back to the pharmacy world. Subscribe, like and share. Let's make a difference. Thank you for watching. Hey everybody, it's Faheem, pharmacist, prescriber, contractor, founder of Medlin. In this video, we're going to be talking about a topic that we all at some point in our lives suffer with. And if you haven't, then you're very lucky. Because the big word S-T-R-E-S-S, stress, and it happens in a pharmacy, happens everywhere. So I thought that I'll make a video on this to give you my personal experiences, how I've dealt with it, and what I found useful so we can help you. Now, as always, subscribe, like, and share this channel because together we're going to build a better world and we're going to make a difference.